Welcome to Grown Men Chopping It Up. This your boy J.R. Rydha, and I'm with my ace,
Carrie. I say Carrie with a K. This is a safe place for a grown-up after dark talk.
We'll give you a few minutes to put the kids to bed.
Because it's 21 and over.
Alright, let's get to it. So, got a special guest today. Want to introduce yourself? You've been on the show before.
Hello, everyone.
One more time?
Hello, everyone.
Okay. So,
What, I didn't introduce myself.
oh, go ahead. Introduce yourself. My bad.
This is Cece.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Finally, in the studio this time.
Yes, no phone conversation.
Yeah. So, you're in the Bay Area for the weekend.
I am out here running a race. Oakland Run Festival, representing Black Girls Run.
So, I see you do that a lot, like Black Girls Run. Mm-hmm. Do Black girls really run?
Black girls really run.
There's a lot of white girls that run, too.
There's a lot of all women that run.
Oh, so you guys run? Do you run with white girls, too?
We are a non-discriminatory group. Our focus is African American women, but we don't discriminate.
Are there any white girls that run with you guys?
There are a few.
Oh. Have you guys ever got arrested?
No.
So if it's black
We
man,
know how to run from the police,
yeah,
too.
if it's black man run, that shit don't last too long. we get sick of going to jail and get shot at. So you're running a race.
I am running a half marathon.
What is it like to run a race?
It is exhausting. Running it, it's heavy on the body, but it's an amazing feeling to accomplish it. So,
have you ever got that like the boo boos, like where you
the
run
runner's trot?
Yeah.
No.
You never ran and then you had the boo boo?
No, but I know a few people that happens to.
And it just shakes everything loose?
Something about when you're moving and running, like, you know how, bad analogy, but you know how, like, dogs, when you walk a dog, after a while, dog has to go use the bathroom, like boo-boo. Uh-huh. That's kind of what happens to the body.
So I've heard this, that, like, if you work out, like, with a partner, you can get aroused during the workout. What about running? Have you ever got aroused?
Yeah, a runner's high.
Running? Yeah.
I wouldn't say aroused, but I've gotten a runner's high where it's like this endorphin feeling kicks in. I don't want to compare it to an orgasmic feeling because it's not the same thing. But it's just like this amazing energy just takes over you, and it's just like a great feeling. Yeah.
I never had that at all. I usually have that other one from like going to faint because I'm fat and I was running and I'm busy. It doesn't feel really good. Nowhere near as good as an orgasm. But have you ever ran and got turned on? Because, like, you're running, right? Your legs are moving. Things are rubbing. Like, no.
It's more of a friction feeling.
Oh.
Because, you know, I'm a cute, thick chick.
Uh-huh.
So it's that...
it's not...
okay.
okay.
More that I need to go sit down somewhere. I'm going to start a fire. And not a hot fire, but a bad fire with a rash.
Do you in the Black Girls Run... Is there a lot of lesbians?
There is everything because
it's a good mix.
It's a good mix. We don't discriminate. Like there's everything because it's a good mix. We don't discriminate. Like we don't care what your orientation is. You know, as long as you care about health and getting out there and challenging yourself and being the best that you can be as far as health wise, that's all we care about.
That's good. And you said there's a group called Black Men Who Run.
There is.
And you guys are like an affiliate group?
Sort of, kind of. And it's funny that you say that because Kevin Hart is a huge sponsor of Black Men Run.
Okay.
And Serena Williams is a huge sponsor of Black Women Run.
Okay.
Black Girls Run, excuse me.
Okay. So basically the guy group is better than the girl group.
Negative.
What you're trying to say?
Negative. Let's see Kevin Hart at the U.S. Open.
Right. But, I mean, the guys are able to run more because men have a brain
Lies
that has
you tell. Lies you tell.
And there's extra connections that connect in the brain that makes a guy's brain works better than a woman's brain. So then his feet and legs must work better too.
Ladies and gentlemen, J.R. Rydha forgot his disclaimer at the beginning of the show that this show is sponsored by the mentally ill today.
That's not funny.
It is. Laugh with me.
So you've done poetry too, right?
I'm a spoken word artist who
So
needs to resurrect.
What's the difference between poetry and spoken word?
Not really a difference. The only difference is the spoken word artist gets up in front of people and they spit that fire.
So what you do is like, what's that movie with
Love Jones?
Love Jones.
Yeah.
That's what you guys do.
What I did. I haven't done it in a long time.
Why?
I haven't written anything.
Oh, but like every time I watch that, I think there's a lot of lesbians there too.
What's up with you and these lesbians
I'm
today?
just saying, like every time I see stuff like, we talked about another podcast when girls have lesbian parties, and
what is a lesbian party?
It's like when they have like, oh, it's just gonna be me and the girls, and they have like a pajama party and they drink wine. The reason why some of the girls don't want guys and stuff to be there is because they're basically lesbians and they want to see the other girls in their pajamas.
So what is poker night? DL night?
Huh?
What is poker night?
No, that's great men coming together.
No, that's
with the.
That's showing them a different type of stick.
No, that doesn't happen. It's great men who come together with these ideas, which is different than the lesbian parties.
Okay, so why is it that the guys can come together for poker night or pool night or sports night or whatever it is, and it's just great guys coming together? Right. But if the girls come together,
it's lesbian night.
Please elaborate on this again.
Like the girls who go on lesbian trips. Like,
what is a lesbian trip?
It's like when you guys all get together and go to Jamaica.
I just did that.
We know what
happened. We didn't have a lesbian trip.
You want to talk about it? Huh? So the first time you kissed a girl in Jamaica, how did it feel?
I didn't kiss a girl in Jamaica.
You guys don't call it kissing?
We didn't kiss.
You call it travel. Oh, you guys just did it. You guys didn't kiss.
I kissed a boy.
She looked like a boy.
Shut up. No, crazy man. No.
So you went to Jamaica?
Actually, I did in October. I just got back from the Caribbean last month.
So if you have
a different part of the Caribbean.
If you have a one-night stand in the Caribbean, it doesn't count, right? Because you're out of the country.
On international waters.
Right. So it doesn't count on your count.
It does count. Anything counts.
No way.
Yes, it does. It all counts.
No.
It all counts.
No.
It's international booty.
Yeah, it's international booty. It doesn't count.
It does count. It all counts.
It only counts if you're on U.S. soil.
That is not true.
It's in the rule book.
What rule book?
The not cheating rule book.
That is not accurate.
It is. It's not cheating.
No, it is. Wait a minute. That's a whole different topic that you're going on.
I'm just saying.
You just talked about a one-night stand. What does a one-night stand have to do with cheating? So are you talking about you're in a relationship?
Yeah.
You take a trip with your boys.
Yeah, with your boys.
To Jamaica or Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And you have a one-night stand.
That doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. You're not in the same area code.
Are you kidding me? It does count. It all counts.
Doesn't count.
It does.
If your girl goes to Jamaica, it counts.
No.
If you go, it doesn't count.
Get out of here.
No, it's true.
It all counts.
It's in the book.
It all counts.
Chapter 3.
You're going to come back with Zika.
You kissed a boy. Did you get mono?
I didn't kiss a boy.
Who'd you kiss?
I was on a celibate trip when I went to the Caribbean.
Wow.
I was on some Eat, Pray, Love stuff.
That's now. What's Eat, Pray, Love stuff?
I'm on my Zen mission, man.
Okay, Zen mission.
Mm-hmm. I'm just traveling around to different countries and cities and states within those countries, and just like absorbing myself in peace.
So, if a person is in a relationship, a woman, and she wants to go on a girls' trip. You guys been married a few years, 6-7 years, and you got friends that are female. What is a reason that a woman will want to go on a trip like that? Just her and her girlfriends.
Well, it could be several reasons. I think that one, it could just be the women getting together and bonding and doing like-minded things. It could be that the fella doesn't want to go to that particular place with this girl. So her girls want to go, and maybe she doesn't want to go by herself. It could just be that you're going to celebration of something.
Or she want to get away from him.
I don't even think that. Well, I think getting away sometimes can be healthy because it makes you miss that person, especially when you don't have foul intentions of going away.
Okay,
like you're going away,
really to just go away.
To just go away with your girls and hang out.
Do you think that women should do that? Is that something that women should do?
I think that men and women both should do that.
I do. I exactly think men should go.
I'm an advocate. Yeah. If I was in a relationship, I would be an advocate for my husband or my significant other doing a male's getaway trip.
Definitely. Males should definitely do getaway trips. And you guys can call me
on international soil.
Chopping it up at gmail.com. I will go with you wherever we're going.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Because once you leave the zip code, it's not cheating.
You know what? This is how shows like Snapped come about, okay?
Nobody should ever be snapped. I mean,
so it's okay for her to go international solo cheating?
Absolutely not. It's different.
So it's okay for you to open your drawers, right? But it's not okay for her to open her legs.
Like Carrie said, she has an innie and we have an outie. So,
and your point is
that
what?
It's just different.
No, not co-signing to that theory.
Just think about it later. You'll prove that I'm right.
No, there should be no cheating on these trips.
Well, it's not cheating.
It is cheating.
No, it's not. It's only cheating if you get caught. If not, it's a hookup, right? So, for instance, your friend works at Macy's, and they say, "Hey, come through. I got a hookup where you can get this shirt for $6, but you got to say you're me."
Negative.
You go buy the shirt for $6. It's nice. That's hookup, right?
This is why black marriages are falling apart every day. No,
But I'm saying that's a hookup, right?
No, it's not a hookup.
That is a hookup.
It's not a hookup. Not in a hookup of how you're trying to put it.
But then if you get caught by the manager on the way out and they say, "Let me see your receipt," hey, you're not Daniel.
No.
Then you were caught cheating.
No. That is bad. Do not listen to that.
So, I know a little bit of your personal. What was the best part about being married? Because there's good to it, right?
There's a lot of good to it.
What's the best part? What's something you'd be like, everybody out there in TV land, this is the best part of being married.
Ladies out there and gentlemen in TV land, the best part of being married is the hope in the idea that this is the person that you're going to be with forever.
Yes.
And building...
Sounds pretty gay.
Building an amazing foundation together.
Did you have the fairy tales and stuff? Like, were you the little kid and you put the little sheet on your head and... Like,
one of those programmed children?
Yeah.
Yes, I was. And then it all came crashing down.
But it's good. It teaches it. But you know what? Tell me if this is true.
Okay.
I said people need to take their relationships that they had and stop taking them so lightly when it comes to getting married. And I say that to say this. People be in long-term relationships and then they marry somebody totally different. They totally discount their long-term relationships as, oh, I wasn't married, but we were together 4 years. I wasn't married, but we were together 5 years. But you learned lessons in those, and I think that most people don't use the lessons from their relationships when they choose the person they marry. Like, they know from all their relationships that they shouldn't marry that person, but they use a whole different yardstick when it comes to choosing a husband. Would you agree with that?
Per se, I think that most people get caught up in the fantasy of what a marriage is supposed to be. Like, I know for myself, I got caught up in what I thought I was missing.
Okay.
But everything is great in the honeymoon phase of something new. Mm-hmm. And it's when the reality sets in. And I think that's the benefit of being in a long-term relationship with someone, is that you've been with them for so long, you know their quirks, you know what makes them happy, what makes them sad, you know what you can put up with, what you're not going to put up with. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been with them 10 years, 14 years, whatever the case is. So marriage just takes it into a different realm of commitment. I think when it's quicker and you're caught up in the bells and whistles and the reality kicks in and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Right.
Excuse my friend. Am I allowed to cuss on
you
here?
can cuss.
Okay,
it's
like,
nigga show.
what the fuck is this?
Right.
Who are you? You know what I'm saying?
How did you get here?
You ain't supposed to be here.
I think that my biggest mistake was I thought marriage was like dating. Like, I thought it was the same.
What do you mean?
Like, hey, we're dating. Everything's good. Marriage will be the same. Nah.
Marriage is different.
Okay, what would you say, like, I know a lot of people come to you and they talk to you about relationship stuff. From your experience, when a woman stops having sex in a relationship or a marriage, why is that?
Because she is totally shut down mentally from that man. And I know for myself, like, I'm a sapiosexual.
Okay.
And sapiosexual, I'm so attracted to intellect.
Oh, okay.
So intelligence is a turn on for me.
Okay.
If I'm not stimulated mentally, there's no way the cuckoo's going woo woo.
So maybe if somebody's in a relationship or long term, because you know how like a lot of dudes that's married, they'll talk about not getting head or she's not sexual, she won't dress up in lingerie and all these things that she doesn't do anymore. So do you think that it could be that she has checked out mentally with that person?
Well, my question to that would be, did she start off doing that way?
No, I mean, no girl starts out that way. We have a saying, me and Carrie with a K, like, no girl ever gets married and lose weight.
You know what?
That shit just doesn't happen.
Whatever. Some of us do.
I'm just saying, some of
Come join Black Girls Run.
But I'm saying some girls do, but most times people get comfortable. Yeah. And, you know, you both get fat.
Well, so I think with that, to piggyback on what you said, I think that's it. You said the key thing. People get too comfortable. I'm waking up with you. I'm here with you all the time. I'm comfortable. And one thing I learned, you asked me a question about marriage, right? One thing I learned about marriage that if I ever got married again is to keep it sexy, to keep it spicy. What is my husband like? If my husband likes head, then I need to learn how to spice up my head game. If my husband likes sex, I think I need to date my husband, like every now and then. Meet somewhere freaky, meet somewhere different. You know, act like we don't know each other. Who wants it the same way on Tuesday in the bed, on Wednesday in the morning, or once a month? It's like anybody would get stagnant with that.
I think it's like this. A lot of people that I know, I don't know that many people, but the other people that I know I talk to, they've met their wives when they were young. So she's never really experienced as a woman to spice nothing up. Like, you're a grown woman, so you've been through things in life. So when you get your dude, you're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna make sure." But if you had him 20 years ago, he's just like the couch.
Okay, so I have a question to that. As a grown woman, quote unquote, a single, attractive grown woman.
Toot your own horn.
I'm tooting my own horn. It doesn't seem like there's many men in our age group. Okay. You want to give a ballpark figure for the age group?
40s.
Okay.
Late 30s.
40s.
Early 40s. I'm 42.
I'm 40. So in our age group, I don't see many 40-year-old dudes checking for the 40-year-old independent woman. I see a lot of younger dudes checking because it seems like a lot of dudes in their early to mid 40s, they're looking for the 21-year-olds.
Well, it's not just the 21, and the reason why it's the younger, right? At least 10 years younger. You know, that's the secret code that women don't know that men have, right?
What is that again?
10 years younger than you is what's going to make you happy.
I don't want in my 50s and 60s.
Right. You got to go 10 years up. Men go 10 years down. It's true because
no disrespect, but I don't want the AARP card.
I know. But a guy that's
discounts on
you
Tuesdays,
do get discounts.
You know,
you
that
get
might work.
Shit free.
No offense to the older crowd.
They get the park up front, but
the VIP parking.
Usually, a black woman that's in her mid 30s, early 30s, right?
Early 40s.
She has been through a couple things, had a couple little bad. She's over the little bad boy stage. She want a good dude. An older dude doesn't. She's gonna listen a little bit more than the older woman. Once you get over into your mid to late 30s and going into the 40s, you've pretty much heard and seen everything. Nothing I'm going to say or do to you is going to make you impressed. If I take you to, Sizzler, you're going to be like, no, this isn't real. But you can take a 30-year-old to Sizzler and she's okay with it.
Okay, and another thing to piggyback on what you said, I think where the difference is at too is, correct me if I'm wrong, I think, what I see for most men when they get to be in their early to mid 40s and later, they've pretty much established themselves. Like they're in home ownership, they're in careers, they understand 401k and all that type of stuff. So at this phase of their life, most of them aren't looking to settle down in a committed situation, where on the reverse side, that woman who's in her late 30s, 40s, she's established herself as well, but by this time she's looking to settle down.
But she's probably like fucked up some relationship too, like, and so then she's, and the guy, he fucked her up. Yeah, maybe the guy, but the guy at that age, like you said, he has his shit. He knows what he wants. He knows what he. And
half of y'all are cocky at that age because you come in with something. But I don't think you should be cocky about what you have. It should be expected that you have it.
But it's not. I mean, it's like an endangered species, right? You're saying it yourself. Black man, no, lot of kids, no.
I'm an endangered species. I'm a 40-year-old single woman with no children, with a good career. Travel all over the world.
But see, that's it.
I'm an endangered species.
I mean, endangered species.
Well, actually, I'm a hot commodity.
Right, that's the problem.
Without any
tariff tax.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the biggest problem with relationships, right? People. This is what I said, and you can see if you can back me up on this.
Okay.
I say you're only dating inside your financial pool. Most people are together because that's what they could afford. If a woman...
But isn't that sad, though?
It is sad.
Like, I'm just dating you because financially...
That you're what I could afford.
You're what I could afford. Like, that's not even, like, acceptable.
You've been international, right?
Yeah.
So you've seen some very handsome men.
Definitely.
So your experience is... You won't settle for Ray Ray.
No.
Why, though? Because you have seen Ernesto. Right.
Ernesto, roll the R.
Ernesto. So you know that there's a fine Ernesto out there for you.
I do.
But you didn't know that until you went to see Ernesto.
Okay, but I think travel, I didn't mean to cut you off, I'm sorry. I think like travel and relationships in life, until like you said, the key thing, you broaden your horizons and you got out there and you went international and you saw that there's some amazing things and amazing Ernestos out there. But I think it should be the same thing in people, how you live your life and relationships. Why do you just settle for average? Why don't you expand yourself to find out what's out there? Like, not to go back to, but to talk about like the dating thing. When I got out of my divorce, I realized that my marriage was the biggest yet best mistake I've ever made.
Okay.
It was the biggest mistake because I married the spawn of Satan and all hell broke loose. But it was the biggest, most amazing thing that ever happened to me because in all the horrible things I went through, I completely learned me.
Okay.
And I took time out for myself. I didn't jump into a rebound relationship. I took time out to really figure out who I was as a person. Mm-hmm. Have some amazing friends who talked me through my situations and helped me realize, like, these are things that you need to look at yourself and what's wrong with you. Quit pointing the finger at somebody else if you don't look at yourself.
Right.
And in that, it allowed me to just go on this eat, pray, love thing and journey and really find out who I was, to find out that there is more to life than Ray Ray.
Right.
You can have a Ray Ray if you choose to.
Yeah, Ray Ray might be fine.
But how can you ever compare to see if Ray Ray is great unless you tried Ernesto? Yeah, you try Ernesto, and Ernesto may not be for you, and Ray Ray's looking real good.
And that's what and that's what I tried to explain. I was talking to these little young dudes, and they were talking about college and stuff, and I said, what you need to do is you need to go to Atlanta. Whatever you do, you need to go to Atlanta, and these same girls that you are chasing, that you think got the big booty,
they got bigger booties out there.
But what I'm saying is, they're on campus going to class.
Yep.
So you can go out there and you messing with these women who have no future. Like, they looking at you as the come up. They see you doing
baby daddy.
Yeah, they see you doing something halfway decent. So they're like, oh, I'm gonna latch on to him. But if you broaden your horizons, like you saying, there in Atlanta, there's like 7 colleges or something.
Let me give you a perfect example. This friend of mine, and not trying to put people's business out there, but this friend of mine. So he was in a marital situation. Marital situation didn't work, right?
Okay.
Had an educated, good woman, but of course, as time, like, sadly, most marriages get stale, and they couldn't find their way out of it.
Okay.
So he meets Shaniqua.
Shaniqua
from the hood, okay? He meets Shaniqua, and Shaniqua thinks he's got it going on because Shaniqua has never met Ernesto. Okay, or Pablo, or Hakeem. Hey, she ain't met none of them.
Right.
So he leaves his marital situation. He's hooking up with Shaniqua. Shaniqua ain't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
She got a big butt.
But she living with somebody. Okay. And now he's roommating and living with somebody. So now neither one of them have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. So you left a marital situation where you guys owned a home, owned other assets, to rent a room to be with Shaniqua because Shaniqua makes you feel good?
Yeah, but you know what? Feeling good, I'm going to tell you, as a man, feeling good really goes a long way. But
can't that be part of communication?
It is, but men are very simple. And women don't understand this. And I'm going to show you how simple man is. A woman sending a man a drink blows a man's mind.
Take notes, ladies.
It blows a man's mind. Because it's something that's out of the comfort zone. Most men don't know how to react. Just like if you're aggressive towards a guy, don't they always clam up?
Come here.
But you know what I mean? They can't handle it.
Right.
Men can't handle. That's how simple guys are. If you want a dude, let's say you work with a guy, he's very successful. If you just whisper in his ear one day, your hair looks amazing. Do you know that man will think about... I did a poll once.
It aroused them.
I did a poll. And I asked guys, I said...
You did a poll or you had a poll?
I had a poll.
Okay.
I don't know. Did a poll, whatever. I could have did one too. She was kind of skinny. Her nickname was Pole.
Oh, Lord.
So I did a poll and I asked guys, I said, what's the one compliment that you've gotten that you always remember? And do you know these dudes was telling me compliments from middle school? Like, it was stuff like, you have nice eyes. You have pretty eyes. You know... It was really small things. And these guys really still remember this shit 10, 15, 20 years later. That's how long compliments and stuff last with dudes.
They're messing with Shaniquas. You know?
Exactly.
Because Marissa will tell you that.
All the time. Yeah. That's why you got to, hello, papi. That's why you got to get your, Nina.
But okay, so do you think that Shaniqua and Ray Ray and Ernesto and Marisa... I think it just goes back to communication. So, have you ever read or took a test about the 5 love languages?
We talked about that on one of the shows.
Okay.
And I said my love language is food.
That's not a love language.
Shit.
Acts of service to go get you the food.
Whatever. Long as she naked with bacon. I love her.
No, but
I'm very simple.
Do you know the 5 love languages?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I mean, I do know love languages because we talked about it on the show.
Okay,
I don't know them in detail.
Okay.
So you could school us.
Well,
so it's
you know what?
Service.
Acts of service, physical touch. Words of affirmation. Gifts. Oh, wait, is that 5? I didn't count.
4. So we got gifts. We got touch. We got
acts of service. Affirmation.
Telling you. So if I tell you, what's the other one?
Did we say we said touch?
So touch is you want to be.
I forgot the other
touch,
one.
Acts of service. Isn't it one like where they like for you to do stuff for the person? That's acts of service.
That's acts of service.
Touch. I don't know. Fucking it should only be 4 anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, 5. We got food.
It's our remake, right?
Yeah.
Food's act of service. Okay.
So you did the test. What was yours?
Mine is words of affirmation and acts of service. But as I get older, I'm really believing it's physical touch.
Well, yeah.
Oh, quality time.
Quality time.
Is the fifth one. Just quality time.
Yeah. I feel like physical touch. I think.
That's all, guys.
Because you could do a lot without saying a word. Right. You don't have to talk to me about it. If, you come to the door, she drops to the knees and gives you head, she doesn't have to say anything else for the rest of the year.
Okay, if you're fighting with your chick, you guys have had like a horrible week, day, whole week. Nobody's talking. There's so much tension in the house. Like, you look at her and you're just disgusted.
We live together?
You live together.
I'm moving out.
Well, let's say you don't even live together. Let's just say she's with you all the time. Okay. Right? So you're just like...
Go home?
she just at that point. She needs to go
Right.
home. She got a key to your house. Okay?
No. This is a fucking nightmare.
Hey, she's got a key. Okay.
Anything else bad happening in this damn story?
So she's just like at the point where she's like, I'm tired of fighting with you. So you come home after a long day, horrible commute. And as soon as you walk through the door, she just like slams you up against the door, unzips your pants, pulls it down, and just goes to town on your dick. Are you forgiving her?
I forgot everything that she's ever done ever. I don't even.
So that's like
it.
That's a deal breaker.
No, I'm saying that right there would help 99% of every argument.
But it's not gonna resolve for her.
Fuck the problem. I don't have one no more.
But she's still bent up with it.
Head is gonna clear then he just do the same thing for her. Problem solved. There's no problem head can't fix.
No.
Okay, look, tell you a story. I was in a long-term relationship. We won't go into names because I say too many damn names. So I was in a long-term relationship, and I was super attracted to this person. And I can remember having one of those little tizzy-fizzy fights or whatever, and I was like, oh, man, I ain't even going to talk to her. So I sat down, I started playing my video game, and I'm being mad. I ain't going to say nothing. So this girl was super duper clean. She's like one of these girls that take like 3 showers a day. So she jumps in the shower. You know, I'm pouting or whatever. Then, you smell that Victoria's Secret. Like, damn, that shit smells good, right? I'm still trying to be mad. So she comes by, drops her towel. Oops. And the body glistening. She put the little spray stuff on with the glycerin in it. And the nipples
Sparkles.
is good. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck, I'm really not that mad anymore. Like, I'm not so mad that I don't, like, whatever it was, I'm not mad anymore.
Right.
Because guys are simple.
For the moment.
Forget them. I mean, I was no longer mad. It was like, whatever needs to stop this. But I'm a little different, and I have a lot of problems with dating because I am different now. I feel like 90% of the... Let's go into a last story. So, I was in a relationship that was going super bad. And I listened to this stupid dude talk. And he was like, well, you need communication in order to fix your relationship. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do communication. He says, well, you an exercise where she writes down her problems and you write down your problems. I was like, okay, cool. And he was like, don't be petty, So I was like, hey, let's do this. She was like, okay. So we sat down and we wrote our problems out and we came together and we were supposed to switch lists. I had 3 things on my list, right? She had 79 things on her list.
Dang.
So she seen my list and was like, oh, and she felt embarrassed. Now, I say that story to say, it wasn't that I didn't have 79 things too. But I think most men, if you're smart, 68 of those things, I was just going to let pass. It was just mainly 2 or 3 things that if we could get past that, we could go. But women, like I said, the difference is when you talk about communication, you want the 68 things covered, right?
Pretty much.
And that's where the communication problem comes in.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I disagree in this. I do agree that we do have long lists. We're like elephants. We hold everything in. We remember everything. But I disagree in the fact that I think as we get older and we've gone through several relationships, you start to learn to pick your battles. And you realize that no one person is perfect. So it's like, okay, can I get past all these things? And then your list might go from 68 to 42.
You know what? I just feel like this. Like, in this age and time, kind of work out most of your problems yourself. Before
Quit going to other people.
Yeah, before you go to people, kind of work it out yourself. Like you said, my listeners, you guys are old enough to stop be fighting over the same things that you were fighting over before. You've had multiple relationships. You know what's good. You know what's bad. You know what you like. You know what you don't like. You can't really change an adult. And that's a key.
You shouldn't want to.
That's a key component. Not changing an adult. You got to love them for who they are and where they are.
Right.
So if you were in a relationship and you weren't getting sex on a regular, what's regular for? What would you say regular for you is?
I don't know because I hit some crazy turn in my life at 37 and I'm like a boy in puberty.
Okay.
Because I want it all the time.
So you're like always, you're vibrating.
I'm always thinking about it.
You have like an industrial strength.
I'm not answering that question. I I've learned to repress it because I'm not in a relationship.
Okay.
So I'm not just going to be a hoe.
Right.
So,
So you have an anti-hoe attitude.
I have an anti-hoe attitude.
Okay. But so you're saying a couple times a day would be okay.
Yeah. When we wake up, let's start for a great day.
That's how you want to start off work.
Yes, I want to start before we leave the house. When we wake up, let's get it in.
So these dudes that's married, do you think that they have something to look forward to? Like when women hit this peak that you're at now, is it an age thing? Is it or is it?
I think it's an age thing, and I laugh all the time. Like, okay, Father up above, why am I divorced at this stage of my life, or not in a relationship? Because this is crazy. Mm-hmm. But
is it like a physical thing that happened? It was like, but you said you've been on like a self-awareness type of thing. Do you think that opened up some doors? So
no, because I know a lot of women who aren't on self-awareness journeys, and I've talked about it because I was like, is something wrong with me? Like, why am I thinking about this all the time? And a lot of women, and I've talked to women who are older than me, and they're like, it doesn't stop. Like, I know some women who are like 47, like I don't know if something happens between like your late 30s, early 40s up until menopause that your sex drive is just crazy. And they told me, like, I'm 40, and one of the women I talked to who's 46 said it got better.
Oh, like
sex got better. The intensity increased and the sex got better because she knew more of who she was as a woman and what turned her on. Speaking of that, okay, so my cousin lives in the Bay Area, right? And my other cousin had this
is she a hoe?
No, she's not a hoe. But you know, Candy Burrs has that Candy Coated Nights.
Right, okay.
So they did this, like, pleasure party thing, right?
Okay.
So they had this piece of paper, like, when they were showing the women pleasure lines. Mm-hmm. On the piece of paper, she broke down 4 types of orgasms that a woman has. Do you know the 4 types?
No. I can tell the difference in the shaking.
Stupid. One's clitoral.
Clitoral.
One's G-spot.
G-spot.
One's the blended, where it's the clitoral and the G-spot orgasm. Okay. And then the other one is a multiple orgasm, where she's just going and going and going and going and going. Right. Okay. And of the 10 women that we had in the group that came to the party of different ages, it was amazing to me how many women who were older didn't know that.
Older didn't know. Did the young girls know it?
Yeah, the young girls knew it.
How many of them had experienced it?
I don't know how many experienced it because it went into this whole conversation about learning how to squirt, because you can do like the blended orgasm to teach you how to squirt, and how a lot of them didn't know that. But kind of off subject but on subject, I think for those women who don't experience it, how many women I can say really take the time out to really find themselves and explore themselves and understand, like, when you hit that peak in your life, like, it can be amazing.
It's freedom. And so
because you understand yourself. Like, the goal is not just for the one orgasm. The goal is for all the orgasms. Okay. But you know what? I talked about that before too. We did a show like older women are winning because they're better at sex. And I think, and what I said it was because your whole life as a woman, I'm a man, I've been chasing women. Mm-hmm. You're being chased. And, I'm kidding.
And it's like almost like a bad thing. Like guys are looking at your breast and guys want your booty and they want to have sex with you, and so you're always like being chased, right? And so now it's like you're at the point where, like, wait a minute, I don't have to run. Like, if we're gonna do this, I want A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right. Opposed to when you were young, where it was more like, oh, if I lick his butt, he's going to think I'm a freak. Now you're just like, hey, if I'm going to lick the butt, I'm going to lick the butt.
Yeah, I'm going to do what I want to do.
Whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to do.
Very true.
Yeah, so of those orgasms, which ones have you experienced?
I know you all in my business.
I mean, these people, like, you're giving knowledge to people who don't know about these different orgasms.
I have experienced all of them.
Okay.
And
squirting?
One time I did, and I was like, oh my God, I want to do it again, right? Like, and not even realizing how it happened. But now I understand how it happened, because it was a clitoral orgasm and a G-spot orgasm. And did you know that most people, for the G-spot, when you reach it, it's like when you insert into the woman, it's 2 up and 2 back.
2 up and 2 back.
That's the general rule of thumb. It's 2 up, 2 back.
So she's laying on her back. You stick 2 fingers in, 2 inches?
Two up, not 2 inches, but go in 2.
Like 2, like 1, 2.
And go up.
Then you go up 1, 2.
Yeah.
And then what does it feel like?
It's just like this, like what you were talking about earlier, like with the release.
Yeah, but like on a guy's fingertips, I always thought it feels like a bump. Not a bump, but like a different surface.
Bump. You might want to see the doctor.
No, a different surface. So like it's like is it a smooth? So you go from like this to this.
I don't know that part. Like,
you ain't never reached it yourself?
I mean, I haven't gotten it like for myself from like fingers in to up to like.
We need to get another one here so we can do some experimenting.
Okay, speaking of that, it was on Facebook. I seen it one time. There's this research that they're doing. I gotta find it, but anyway, it's this clitoral research. So you have this woman who's laying down like on this pillow behind her, and you have a partner, not her sexual partner, and nothing sexual about it, but it's clitoral stimulation for 15 minutes.
Right. Oh, it's therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to sign up for that job. I am a clitoris stimulator professional.
But it's supposed to help her focus. Okay, so as a man,
I mean, just like if you go to a massage parlor and you get the happy ending, it helps you.
I wouldn't know about that.
Oh, I mean, I've never been to one. Hey, Ling Ling. I'll see you Wednesday. I've never been to one, but I just heard about it. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so what about? So you said you had. Don't try to skate away from your experiences.
Let's talk about you.
So you said you squirted.
Yes.
How'd you feel when you squirted? So is the squirt?
I was scared because I thought I had to pee on myself, and that's one of the things we talked about at the pleasure party too.
Is the orgasm with the squirting?
The orgasm is in conjunction with the squirting.
Right, so you're having an orgasm while it's happening, but you weren't comfortable enough, so you kind of ruined it a little bit for yourself. I
have denied myself that pleasure a lot because when I was younger,
you felt that feeling before?
Well, yeah, because as a woman, you feel like you have to pee, and you're scared, like you don't want to pee, but it's not urine that's coming out of you.
Did you push it this time?
That one time I did. I just was like, F it. I just want to see what happens.
And it was amazing.
It was amazing.
So you said I want to do it again?
Yeah, well, that was like a subconscious thing. I kind of like.
Oh, you didn't yell it out all like again?
No.
Oh. Okay,
but it wasn't a multiple orgasm. It was just a blended orgasm.
That was a blended. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so
multiple orgasm is when it's like
you had a G-spot by itself though.
Yes, I have.
Okay, so you had the G-spot by itself, and that's just good.
Yes, they're all good.
So are there any different levels? Is the clitoris better than the G-spot, and the blended is better than?
I don't think that they're blended. I think they're just like different levels. So like a blended orgasm is just like the ultimate because it's not like the clitoral orgasm is its own orgasm.
Okay.
The G-spot orgasm is its own orgasm,
okay.
But the clitoral and the G-spot. So okay, like have you seen those vibrators that have like the bunny ears on them? Yeah. That's supposed to help you. I've seen
one that had 3. One goes to the butt, one goes to the coochie, and one goes to the clit.
Well, power to that woman.
Right.
Okay.
I was like, dude, this is a weapon.
She's on beast mode.
Like, this is a weapon.
She is on beast mode. But like that bunny ear vibrator, like that's supposed to help you with the blended orgasm.
Oh, okay. So, but you said there's no difference.
There's no right or wrong.
What about oral sex? Do you have a better orgasm from oral sex, from the vibrator, from penis? What gives you the best orgasm?
To be honest, it really depends on the man.
Okay, it's skill level. For me, you don't have a preference.
Well, it's skill level, but also kind of like I said in the beginning, because intellect is such a huge turn on for me. The mental turns me on. So if I'm turned on by the mental,
so he should read a book to you before he try to get the booty.
Give me the book, baby. Chapter 1.
Chapter 1. You start taking off shit.
Footnotes.
All right. Hey, so it's good to have you on. We could keep going forever, but we gotta wrap this one up because people are gonna be falling asleep.
Shout out to Carrie with a K.
Yeah, Carrie with a K. We miss you. We'll get you next time. Peace.